Good morning and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Yacss, which is a cloud stacking platform which can be very helpful for building local content and building authority for local content. So effectively what this piece of software does is it generates cloud pages that are then hosted on Amazon, on Azure, on Google, on what else have we got? Bunny. There's lots and lots of different platforms that these are hosted on. And what you can do is create authority content or authoritative content about your particular topic that then links to your pages and basically provides authority to them. So each of the cloud stacking platforms has very high domain authority, and then the page authority that you create for the individual cloud stacking sites it ranges depending on the provider, but it can be between 30 and 50. And it's a great way to add some domain authority to a website, particularly in the early stages. So this is the back end of it. I'm using the mass page builder, or I'm going to use the mass page builder. What you can also do is add domains in here, so you can basically populate domains with generated content as well. So quite good for PBNs. And clearly what we can then do is basically build a site relatively quickly. Jasper, the guy behind it, is a bit of a wizard, and he's designed something that's quite interesting. So what we're going to look at is solar panels in city, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to break down the different geographic locations that are in a county, and then we're going to interlink these with spokes. And so basically I'm just going to teach the very basics here today. If you're interested in learning more, do get in touch with me. I'm on all social media platforms, and I can go into a detailed training program on this if it's of interest. I've got a strategy that I use that involves lots of manual linking, so it's very monotonous and boring, but the result of doing all this interlinking is that you end up with highly relevant pages that consistently rank for local towns. So you can end up with your website as one of the featured, as a website that's ranking in the SERPs. And then also what you can have is literally 10 other sites that all come up. And so what you can begin to do is actually squeeze out the competition for some of the search terms. So I've got a structure that I've been using for that. It works very well. And that's basically something that's the kind of advanced level that we can do with this. So Biotech Renewables is the website. And basically what we're going to do, we don't want that, we want that, because for some reason it defaults to that. There's quite a few settings in here. So we can include, we can change lots of things. We can have number of content areas. We can include a HTML sitemap. We can include news items. We can have local business schema, product schema. We don't want rating. This one, for some reason, it starts the rating value at 3, and you end up with a 3 out of 5 rating. So anyway, that's completely stupid. You can hide these as well, which is quite interesting. You can put internal links. You can check out our other pages, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, NAP is very important. So we want all these things to be filled in. But basically what we can do is, if we enable token, then we could say we want one about Hertfordshire, a page about Hertfordshire. Then we could say Abbots, Langley, Aldenham, Boreham Wood, Baldock, etc., right? So this then, and we need to do city in each meta title, so we would do solar panels in Hertfordshire, solar panels in Abbots Langley, solar panels in Aldenham, So what we're building is the architecture, boron wood, solar panels in Bulldog. Okay, then we can create a meta description, so we can basically you can use syntax in this as well. So we won't do that here, but we'll just do it for the purpose of the video. So we can say solar panels in city. So it uses this is a token, like a modifier, so it will pull through the name, supplied and installed by your local specialists with 400 plus installations and great customer feedback. Get in touch today. We could do unique to each page, so that would, we can have a global one, we can do syntax, and obviously we can include the header. I won't include any headers or so we're going to enable tokens, city. This one plays only to the meta title of the pages, right? So we do want that. We don't want that in the content. You can also automatically generate images. So you can drop in, basically you can drop in a logo. We can input a keyword, so we could do solar panels in, right? So we could get it to generate the images, and we say we want 10 images. It will then go away and generate them for us, in theory. That's not working for some reason. Anyway, you get the idea. So, and then what we can also do is we can optimize the EXIF data for the images, so that we can basically tell Google that these images are relevant. So then what we can do is we can fill in our name and address, etc., etc. It will go into our privacy policy. Do we want a manual privacy policy? We can do auto about us, so it will pull through the information. Then we can import the headers. So what we could do is solar panels, so H1 would be solar panels in city. Then we could do solar panel design services, and then we could do in city. And you could create variations of this well, so you could do basically using syntax. We could do city solar panels design, and then we could do etc., etc., right? So what I'm going to do is create an article using Koala Writer. So I'm going to say solar panels in Hertfordshire, right? So this is then going to, I'm not going to add any of those. I'm going to say we want medium form. I just know that that's what we want. We want that. We want first person plural. It might not let us do these. I don't have a paid system for this. Right, so, typical. I've run out of credits. But what we could then do instead is, if we go to, what's it called, Gemini. So we can use this to create, so I'm on a free trial for this at the moment. So we could say, you are a content writing specialist, please write headings for an article for our renewable energy business, supplying and installing solar panels in Hertfordshire. Please incorporate the following keywords and entities. Okay, so what we're then going to go and do is go into autoblogging.ai. I really like this, where is it? It's our team, I think it's our team, James Dooley. James Dooley's built this piece of software, and I really like this find entities and keywords. I think I've used it once before on the channel. So what we're going to do is do solar panels in Hertfordshire. Okay, so this is going to generate the keywords, entities, etc., etc. So that will come up in a minute, and then what we're going to go and do is basically right. So there we go. There's a list of all of the entities and keywords. Please write the headings. So what we're getting it to do is to consider this in a semantically SEO way. So your guide to renewable energy, discover the benefits of solar panel. Right, so what we can do is use these headers. And we'll change that. Where it says Hertfordshire, we'll change it to city. Because Google knows best. This is the way I approach it. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. So we say city. And there's number 3. City. And what we'll do as well, I'll show you how to spin these as well. Why choose solar energy in city? Right, so there we've got, how many have we got now? Solar energy right for you. Okay, and then we need to select which ones. Solar installation, that's quite a good one. What I'm mindful of is we need headings, emphasising cost. We talked about that a little bit. Boost your bottom line. Create a heading about knowledge and experience at biotech renewables. There we go. Right, so this is an important one to include. So there's various things that Google expect to see in an article, and this could be one of them. Right, fine. So now we've got our headings. Then what we're going to go into is creating the content. So we've got our content areas here. So basically what we can actually spin the content either in here. So what we're going to ask Google to do is basically to create an article using the headings that we've just chosen. So we're not going to fully go through this, but we're going to say we want those ones, and then we want how many is that? That's 4, 5, 6, and then we got the last one, which was okay. Right, so there we've got a list. So using the following headings, create a long form article on the topic, incorporating the keywords and entities previously provided. Use multiple outputs if necessary. Okay, so there, what we've now done is basically told it which headings we want to use. Right, so there we've got that one. So that's like an introductory. Right, so what we're now doing is filling the gaps in. And obviously what we can do is basically change the content, and we're going to spin the content so that it incorporates the variations of it in the output. And we can do this automatically using Spin Rewriter, which is why I've got that open, we can actually do it automatically in Yacss. Right, so this isn't going to be perfect. Oh, we've only got 5. I thought we'd ask for more than that. Anyway, you get the idea, right? So I've not formatted that correctly. So what we can then do is we can then basically input different things. So we could have a YouTube video. So basically we could go and find or create videos about installing solar panels in each of the towns and each of the locations, and then we could spin those. We could put images in there, we could put websites, so we could install our Google Maps listing, etc., etc. All right, so this is the kind of process that we go through. We can then add Google feeds, so we could create a news feed. So let's say Hertfordshire News. All right, so RSS feed. So what we're trying to do is create something that's highly optimized content. There we go. There's the Hertfordshire Mercury RSS feed. There we go. So this is the RSS. Whoa. No, thank you. We just want this. So we're going to then drop the RSS feed in. And just going back to the content, so I just realised there was something I hadn't done. So it automatically saves on each page. So we're then going to ask it to do is to actually spin the content. Now I haven't changed the words. There's various things that need to happen. That's not working for some reason. Anyway, so what you'll see is we put that in there, include a news widget. That'll do. Then what we can do is special content, so we can have keywords, we can have a special icon associated with it, blah, blah, blah. So there's bits that you can do like this. I'm not going to include any special content in this. You can include an FAQ process, so you can basically download a load of FAQs, which obviously we would do. So we'd make FAQs relevant to the local page. Then we can embed a video, another YouTube video. We can put my maps in there, etc., etc. Twitter moments. I don't think they actually work anymore. Then we can put all of. Basically, this is the most important bit. So what we can begin to do is interlink these when we've built them up. So between each of them. So if we generate this, you must include city in each meta title. So. That's right. Effectively, what we're going to end up with, and when we've got spun content, is unique content on each page. There we go. So it's generated. So what we can do is preview it. Right, there's no images on the page, but this is all about renewable energies. And as you can see, we're then beginning to get the makings of, now it's not perfect, the content needs a little bit of work, but you can see that when it's got some images on it, when it's got some videos in there, when it's got, there we go. So, it's duplicated it. So I just need to play around with the settings. But you see the point. Basically, we can build individual pages. We then upload each cloud stack to, basically, we generate a new version. So we generate one version for Azure, one for Google, one for AWS, blah, blah, blah. Then once we've done that, then we begin to manually interlink these, which is a pain in the arse to do, but it works incredibly well. And also what we can do is we can spin the content, right? So we can use spin rewriter, and I'll just show you a very short form because it takes a minute. And the more you do, the longer it takes. Right, so rewrite paragraph with AI. So what it's got is a new methodology where basically it'll rewrite the paragraphs with AI. So you get 3 different versions. So you've got 4, in fact, we've got 4 variations. So we're going to use all 3 of those. And then we go to next step, and it's going to create synonyms for the article. And it's now going to create a highly spun article. Now, what you'll see, it's incredible. Like, because it's got the AI element to it. So we then, just to show an example, I think we can do this in here, but I want to keep that because I'll probably use that for my Yacss pages later on. Okay, so we then go 1-click rewrite. And then we go to final step. So what we're ending up with is a highly unique article. So it's got 72 words, it's 97% unique. Hertfordshire, dynamic rich county in background, is taking vibrant actions in the direction of much more sustainably environmentally conscious. Right, so we do that. We could then optimize this. So write an article title. We could write a description. We could write a summary. Okay, and then we can detect the keywords. So this is a bit low down, but that's okay, just for the purpose of this exercise, because obviously we've just taken one snippet. So what we can then do is we can automatically post, so we can copyscape check it. I don't have a copyscape API, so I can't do that. But what we can then do is we can then, how do I generate another unique article, right? So watch. Hertfordshire, dynamic region with an abundant background, is taking blah, 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 right? Hertfordshire, vibrant county. So what we can create is every single one of these pages is going to have completely unique content in it. What we're then doing, because we're adding in the location modifier key, so being city, so we could say St Albans. Obviously, this is about a county, so we need to word this bit carefully, so we need to make sure it all makes sense. But what we can do, we could say a dynamic area or a dynamic location. But what we can basically do is end up with each page on our Yacss site being completely different content. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a variety of AI generated images so that the images that get uploaded, and each time we click generate in here, it basically spins the content in a different way. So we end up with a variation. So it's not the same piece of content every single time. And then it will output the city name, and from there, we obviously end up with the variation that we're looking for. So hopefully you can see the potential power of this. So what this gives us is the ability to basically create highly optimized microsites, each with individual images, settings, variation of content, different links on them, etc., that are highly optimized. And these things rank, right? This is the point, because in particular in local search, these pages can rank on the first page of Google. And if you're trying to do what I would describe as a lockout situation, so basically you want to dominate the first page of a town, if you've got a highly optimized domain, so let's say Watford roofing, So we get watfordroofing.com. We then go and build all of the profiles for Watford Roofing, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, etc., etc. If someone types Watford Roofing into Google, we're then going to have these Yacss sites, we're going to have our website, we're going to have etc., etc., etc. And the idea is that we try and dominate the SERP. And because we're interlinking all of these assets, we're creating dynamic content for them. So every time a job gets done, we post images of it. That job then gets put into an RSS feed that then gets syndicated out, etc., etc. This is the thing that basically gives us the power. So hopefully that was a useful insight for you into Yacss. As you can tell, there's a lot more of this that we need to go into in terms of utilizing it and actually implementing it, but it's an extremely powerful tool and one that can help you to rank for competitive search terms on local search. Big shout out to Jasper Nissen for creating this piece of content. It's something that I use and it's worked incredibly well for me to create unique lockout situations. If you could comment by writing the words Yacss, Y-A-C-S-S in the comments, that would be most appreciated. And maybe if Jasper's interested, we can get him on and he could do a demo of the piece of software. And he's also got a new thing called Schema Writer as well, which he might be interested in explaining a bit more about. Anyway, hope you have a good day. Hopefully this was interesting. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Cheers. Bye.